So you're tuning in and listening to Into the Esoteric. This is a very, very intentional podcast that is aligned with esoteric insight, ancient knowledge, conscious spirituality, and everything in between. And I am expanding this podcast and I'm having a segment of conscious conversations, and I have my first guest, who is this beautiful, radiant Starlight, and we are going to have a conversation. She's going to enlighten us with the goddess within and embracing and invoking goddess, which is, I believe it's our birthright to remember this. So Starlight, it's an honor.
Thank you for having me. Yeah, so the importance of the goddess just in general, I want to speak on the importance of the archetype and the goddess energy overall is so important in just life in general. We are walking on the goddess. The earth is the OG goddess, especially of this realm. So the fact that we're here and we get to experience the goddess in such a sensual, magical, divine experience in so many different reflections, through the plants, through the waters, through all of these beautiful elements. Earth is such a magical place to be, and she is the OG. So yeah, and I feel like when people, particularly women, when they are looking for that goddess within, connecting with nature more, connecting with the water more, connecting with things of the real world, of the mother, will help unlock the goddess within so effortlessly. Because it's not a challenge when you're ready for those parts to be unlocked. But it's like with this world we live in nowadays, society is quite interesting with how they've suppressed the goddess energy and kind of turned it into like witchy energy, and like have kind of tainted the sacred, and just like they've tainted a lot of things and like demonized a lot of things. Like sacred medicines from the earth, which are what is natural and what we can trust, and was what we've been able to trust for thousands and thousands of years, which have healed our bodies, our minds, and our spirit. But it's like the way that society is now is, it's so disconnected from the real world, so disconnected from the divine mother, the divine goddess that is a reflection of all the other goddesses that are here. And I believe that the world used to operate a lot differently when there was a lot of different beings here, otherworldly beings, a very long time ago. And I believe that there were a lot of women in charge, a lot of
yes,
feminine presences and embodiments like that were guiding the energy, and men would literally bow down and would not even get too close because they knew that that energy was sacred. They knew that they couldn't like disrupt it and like, you know, do what they wanted. I believe that men, or masculine embodiments, used to really see the goddess energy, and they were so mesmerized by it. Like I remember a lot of wisdom when it comes to belly dancing, and a lot of the history of belly dancing, particularly in Egypt. And it's very interesting because belly dancing originated in all sorts of parts of the world. So the seed was planted in all sorts of different goddesses, and it manifested in, you know, Hawaii and, you know, these Polynesian places, as well as Egypt and India, and there's so many different kinds of belly dancing. And it's really, really beautiful to see that. And also all of them have their own flavor and their own taste, but the wisdom that I carry is particularly from Egypt. And there were these temples long time ago of women that would belly dance, and it was a ritual, it was a very sacred thing that these goddesses would do, and like men weren't even allowed in the temples. They were allowed from a certain distance. They could only watch, and they knew that they couldn't get any closer. And they respected women so much back then, when women were like more in charge and more like directing energies. And that was when things were going quite well. And then there were these destructive energies, as there has been so many times in the cosmos, that have like destroyed cities, destroyed so many things that used to be here that are no longer here. So there's been like a huge suppression of the goddess in general, because these other energies tried to take over, and they are still trying to take over, and that is why the world is the way it is. And that's why so many women have lost the relationship with the womb, lost the relationship with dancing, singing, like just self-expression. Like they've lost their connection to God, Source, and the goddess. I also believe that the creator, I don't really, how do I explain this though? You know how people believe that God is like a man, or like, no, it's like, that doesn't make any sense. Like with the archetype of a man and the archetype of a woman, it literally doesn't make any sense. Like women literally have the ability to bring souls into this world to have a human experience. Like they literally, they can anchor in orbs of energy to manifest into a physical body to have a physical experience. Like it doesn't make sense that God would be a man. No, because women have the archetype of creation, and they are creators, like at their core, and men are, I feel, are supposed to be the protectors of the sacred, the protectors of women, protect them and keep them safe, and create whatever a goddess or a woman needs to feel safe and to feel that they have everything that they need. Because when a goddess is in her power, when a goddess is in her truth and her voice, they're unstoppable. Men get scared.
Yeah.
The amount of men that are scared of me is like insane. Like they're like threatened by me.
I bet, because you're authentic too. When you're in your womanly, you are a walking goddess. And yeah, I'm sure those seeds that the patriarch has planted to separate them from the matriarch, I can see why they're threatened by you, so rooted in your truth.
But the fact that there's even that going on in the world, like that's the issue. You know what I'm saying? Like the fact that like men are scared of women, or women are scared of men, like that's the problem. Is like there's created this huge separation where we're against each other, and like there's women that are man haters.
Yep.
And like those women are extremely wounded, but like they've forgotten their power. Like they've completely forgotten.
Yeah.
Men are, I believe that they are here to serve women. I believe that is their purpose. And like they're here to protect the sacred and to serve women, which is the biggest blessing and the biggest honor, which is what they used to believe. There are still amazing men out there that believe that, and are happy to be in the presence of a woman, happy to be in the presence of a goddess, and will treat them in all the ways that they deserve to be treated and nothing less. But there's like this fight between the masculine and the feminine energies, which doesn't make any sense, but it does make sense because so many people are at war with themselves and at war with the feminine and masculine within them.
Yeah.
Like such lack of balance within those aspects. So
yeah. Very out of balance.
Yeah, so it's quite interesting, but back to the goddess. Wow, yeah, the goddess. So many women have really forgotten the power of their womb, the power of their connection to that space, and also their sensuality and their sexuality. That I feel like when that is tainted in women, or that is forgotten in women, that is when their power is like completely lost. Like they are not fully aware of what they're capable of. They're not aware of how quickly they can manifest things, and it's quite sad, but it's also a part of the woman goddess evolution of it rising again. So being like suppressed in this time, it's going to rise, and it is rising. There are so many women that are stepping into their truth and their voice and their connection again. And I'm somebody that helps women do this through sound, through breath, through movement, meditation, and it's a lot of somatic work that I do with women to get them back in their body, to get them back like present, like in themselves, because we're so busy doing things all the time, and women have to, everyone, but women in particular, I do not believe we are even made to be working in the ways that we do.
Yeah.
The way that this world is operating is not the way women should be operating. Like it's really sad. Oh my God. It's
very recent in time, right? Where women have shifted this masculine role within servitude and work. It's not even servitude, it's work. Because I think there's a little bit of a difference between those two words. So
that they call it work is because energetically people are slaves to the system.
Yeah.
And that's why it's work. It's not service. They're draining their lives away, their life force, to keep the matrix alive and moving. But women, the more women that remember who they are, remember their connection, heal their wombs. The more women that heal their wombs will heal the planet, will heal lineages, will heal lifetimes of pain, of trauma, of suffering, of suppression, abuse. Because these I just saw something interesting the other day, like literally yesterday, about women. There was one right that women, it was in the 1970s, I can't remember it now, but there was a right that was like passed through in 1970. I can't remember what it was, but they've created a lot of situations where women, it's like women had to fight to work, and then now it's like, wait, why did we do that? Like, whose idea was that? Because I feel like women need to be resting, and whether that be like taking care of like the sacred space and like all of that jazz, the container, keeping it clear, keeping it cleansed, keeping it holy. That's like way more sustainable.
Yeah, absolutely.
Than like, trying to make like the same kind of income men would be providing for us, which is like beautiful that like we get the opportunity to do that, but like, boy, our bodies were not made to be working and grinding and hustling, and like it's like that's not how our bodies were made. Our bodies were made to like dance and sing and rest and
guide. I feel like women are just such natural guides because we are the wellsprings of wisdom. It's our birthright. I'm a mother, and I'm raising a son, and I just feel like it's my purpose to be a mother, and especially to a male. And so I feel like the woman, we are here to guide the future generations, but also guide the lost, because these men who are out of alignment, out of balance within themselves, within the sacred laws of Maat, if you will, women who are in their power, who embody the goddess, they can guide them, but they might feel threatened. But I believe that we are all here to remember, and that the masculine, do you have any advice for any of the women listening, or even the men listening, on how men can listen to the guidance of the goddess to kind of respect women, get back into the role of how men were programmed, designed to be?
Oh my gosh, the biggest thing that comes to heart and to mind is women and men should completely stop watching porn, because so many women and men are addicted to that stuff, and that is what takes away the power of sensuality, the power of our life force, the power of ultimately one of the most sacred things that we get to experience as human beings, has been completely just twisted into these so sex trafficking stuff. Like, that when people are watching that stuff, they're literally supporting the sex trafficking that is happening on this planet, which is the biggest industry in the world, and it's the darkest, the scummiest, the evilest energy that is on this planet. I actually don't even really believe in evil. I believe that the evil is just lost, but that energy is extremely dark, and so many people are addicted to it. And what I would say for people that have addictions to it is to start disconnecting from it and starting to play with the imagination again, starting to play with the innocence of that energy, and not this kind of shameful, guilty feeling. Because I just found out that it's illegal in the UK. So in the UK, people literally have to put in their ID or their passport, their personal information, on the website if they want to watch it. And people don't want to do that. People are like, I don't want my personal information in that. And I'm like, why isn't that everywhere in the world? Why is that just the UK? But if you think about it like that, though, if you wouldn't put your personal information on the website, then you shouldn't be watching it. And you know it's not good for you, so then stop watching that parasitic things, and returning to the pure, returning to your innocence, because that stuff ruins the innocence, and really has changed the way men view women. I've met men that are extremely addicted to that stuff, and they are programmed to view women as objects, and they cannot, they've even admitted this to me, and they have a hard time seeing women for anything else, nothing better than an object for that, to please them, which is not a healthy way to view any human being, let alone the goddesses. So and women that are addicted to it as well, there's a lot of shame around this topic, which shame is the lowest frequency on the frequency spectrum. It's even below fear. So what I would say with that is forgiving yourself, practicing forgiveness on these parts of self that want to feel pleasure, want to feel good, and want to have connection, because when you're addicted to those things, it's because it's what you're really craving, is those things, but that is an inauthentic way, and not a real way of engaging with that energy that's going to be helpful or useful in your life. And it really affects our perception and the way that we view that energy and the way that we channel that energy. So for all the men and women watching, I would say that is the biggest thing, is getting away from that energy and returning back to your purity, and forgiving yourself for falling into that darker energy, that more lustful energy, because that energy is valid, and that energy is there for a purpose, but it's there to teach us and remind us to return to the purity, to return to the innocence.
Yeah, that makes sense. Absolutely. It is a parasite, like you said, and yeah, just honoring sexuality as sacred. You know, remove yourself from hookup culture, from porn, as you said, and just honor it as sacred, and their lives will probably become even more transformed, you know, because it's a bridge to ecstasy and to the goddess and to the divine and magic and everything that the goddess has blessed us with as human beings. So if they remove themselves from that, they will receive such blessings in return. So stop watching porn, okay?
Stop watching porn. But it's like, it's not to like shame people
No.
to watch it. It's like, but to just stop watching it for your own mental and like spiritual health.
Yeah, quit it cold turkey. You will survive.
Actually, there's a say on that is the fact that that stuff programs men to not retain that energy. True, like, divine masculines, they know how to control that energy very well so that they are able to please and serve the goddess as much as possible. Like, that is a divine masculine, is a man that is in control of that energy and that can deeply breathe into that energy and not just like spill it out unconsciously. That is not good for men either. It's not good for their mental health. It's not good for their, it's all the minerals like in their body gets depleted when that stuff is released. So it's like when it's released, it should be a very intentional thing, not just like unconsciously spilling out, because then your energy leaks, not just after that
onto the, I don't know the term, recipient, you know?
Yeah. And not only that, but their energy will keep on leaking after that because they have leaky energy. They just their most potent essence.
Yeah.
And then they get leaky energy after that. Yeah. So yeah, and also with like women, I would say too, like women have so much shame around their bleed.
They really do. It's
much.
We're so programmed to view it as something to be shameful.
Oh my God! If women,
as you said, lowest frequency.
Yeah. If women remembered some of the things that we used to do way back, like I'm talking the old ancient souls that come back in a female body, and they remember some of the rituals that were done, that we religiously did in devotion with our bleed. Like
I remember, I think it was like 10 or 11 years ago when I first went to Sedona. And I met this beautiful elder woman who is my dear friend now. And she shared the wisdom with me that if every single woman bled into the earth would heal. And that, like, still to this day, 11 years later, like, gives me chills. And I try to do it with every cycle. And I feel it. Healing the earth, healing Gaia, Pachamama, whatever, Mother Nature. But also healing that thread of the goddess, because we're all connected to her, to that thread. So that's something I like to do. And what do you feel that women can do to unprogram, uncondition the shame, or just like shoving a tampon and popping an Advil, you know, like what can they do to deepen their connection to our birthright?
So that's an amazing question. Wow. I also wanted to mention bleeding on the earth as well. When you said that, yes, like that is so important for women to be doing. Like, even if we could just like free bleed on the earth, where preferably grass that is untouched and unsprayed. You know? Because if you're going and on just any grass, it's not protected.
Why
But
that?
definitely on, you know, safe grounds to be doing that on. But the planet really needs that. The more women that do that, the more the blood. What happens when we do that is all the blood that has been shed through war, which has been so many wars. This planet and this dimension has been through so much blood and murder and so much of that. So when we put our blood on the earth in prayer and pray for the healing of that, and you know, the fear to be purged, the anger to be purged, the sadness to be purged, and all these really heavy emotions that most humans are really deep in, it heals the blood that has been shed, that has created so much trauma and so much pain in every lineage. It's like all of the lineages have deep trauma, and deep blood has been shed in all of it. So yeah, and I would also say for me, what I love to do is belly dancing. I love belly dancing. It comes very natural to me. I never was taught belly dancing. I just know how to do it. And I love it. It's very empowering for me when I'm bleeding, before I'm bleeding. And I believe that it also can make my bleed come sooner. If I belly dance more, my bleed will literally come sooner, which is what I did recently. I've been belly dancing like crazy, and all of a sudden my bleed just like jumped to like way sooner than it was supposed to come. So yeah, and that's just like my personal outlet, but connecting with the womb space often. And I have this really amazing, there's a few like really good period underwear brands, but it's also important to not support the mainstream ones. The mainstream ones are toxic. My mom got me like some mainstream ones in high school, and thank God I like never wore them because they were like annoying. I found out later on that they had like forever chemicals in them, the PFAs. And I also believe that, you know, tampons and these pads and things, you know, it's so much waste. It's so much waste going into the planet. It's not, it's an easy like fix for the most part, but it's like, it's not very comfortable, and it's like hygiene wise, I feel like it's also not that great either. I feel like the womb really wants to be bleeding on something, but not being clogged up, and like having that like free flow, which some women like really are uncomfortable with just that. Like they don't want to be feeling the blood like coming out, and they don't want to have to like take care of that often. They just need to like, you know, go to work and deal with it later, you know. And it's like, if we could, which in a lot of other places, take time off of work during that time, even if it's like the first few days or however long someone's bleed is, because I know some people's bleeds are like 3 days. Mine was personally like a week and like 5 days. And yeah, it's best to like rest and not have to do a bunch of things during that time, because that's also when we're so much more sensitive, and that's when our intuitions are super strong. It's like the time of like going into the body and like into the heart and into the womb ultimately as well. I do a lot of different things. I give my blood to the earth. I also put it on my face, which some women think is just absolutely disgusting, but it's like, I don't think it's disgusting at all, because my face is so red that it's like, it looks like there's like berries being smeared on my face, and I really enjoy putting it on my face. And I also...
And it's good for the skin too, you know?
Yeah.
I swear it makes people glow.
Yeah, there's no science like backing that up, of course, but there is a bunch of stem cells and really rich minerals in the blood, and stem cells are really good for plants, they're really good for skin. So I mean, it makes sense. It makes sense. But it's like, it's a lot for women to even like get to that point of their like connection with their body to be able to like do that. But it's needed. We need more women doing that, so that there's like breaking the pattern of shame around that.
And also for women to know that it takes time, you know, like the journey to the goddess, the healing the womb, it doesn't look any certain way. And so don't put pressure on yourself to just, I don't know, bleed how you feel like others are supposed to. Take your time with it, you know, and do exposure therapy. If you're someone who's like, no, I only want a tampon, I don't want to feel it, get you some cotton period panties and just be gentle with yourself. Do it on the last day first, and then the next cycle do it for the last 2 days where you're the lightest, you know, and then your body will get used to it and you'll be like, why the heck didn't I ever do this before? And speaking from someone who's wearing them right now, they're amazing. And
what brand do you use?
I have no idea. I looked up. Here, I ordered them, like, I hate using this term, when I had like post giving birth brain, like everything's very foggy. I just looked up cotton underwear for period panties. I don't know. I can leave it in the notes. I can look later.
Okay, yeah, because I know there's 2 women that I know that make them. One woman sells like each pair for like $88. It's like a lot. And then I have another friend that makes them for $55 a pair, but they both hand make them, hand sew them, hand dye them. So it's like it takes them a lot of time, you know, to make it. So that's why it's like an investment. But I have every color of the rainbow, and I'm currently getting like rainbow mixed ones right now. And yeah, and the woman that I get mine from, I got the ones that are 55. She makes ones with like a socket, like or like a pocket, like over the womb. So I put crystals in there. If you get cramps, you can put like a rice sock in there, or like a little heating thing that she also will give to you. My womb loves the fact that there can be little crystals over her. She loves that.
That sounds amazing. I want her.
Yeah, no, I'll send you the link to her. But the one thing about her, which I will say that's like the downside, is she does pretty much everything by herself, so it takes a long time for the shipping stuff to like
I understand. I make my own clothes too, so much respect and patience.
Yeah, like I literally waited 8 months and I thought I was never gonna get my order. Like I was like,
that's a little longer than I thought. Yeah. But it's worth it, because then you have it for hopefully the whole time of your moon cycle if you treat it with respect. And you know, it's an investment, and I think that's something that women are also conditioned out of, is knowing our worth. You know, like knowing someone will easily spend $55 going out to eat rather than like buying these period panties that aren't going to be toxic, you know? So I guess let's dangle into the conversation of like remembering women's worth through the lens of the goddess. What comes to your beautiful mind?
Well, I actually want to say a few more really powerful things on this topic, but then I would love to go into that, because I feel like this is so heavily related with the way women like view themselves, like in their relationship with their body. The disconnect with the moon and like with the period is like, it's so deep. And also the disconnection like with like having birth control and having synthetic things in the body that are like literally causing problems, because the period shouldn't be painful. That means you have an angry womb. When your womb is cramping and you can barely walk, or you're getting nauseous or dizzy because of cramps, it's literally because your womb is screaming for your attention. And that's something that I don't hear enough women talking about. And
it's true, it's pretty true. It's because it's the harsh truth.
Yeah, and I had a copper IUD. I got a copper IUD when I was 16 years old because my mom was like, you are not getting pregnant. Like, I need you to get birth control. And I was like, I did not want birth control, but the only birth control that was an option was the one that didn't release any hormones. But the copper IUD, which I literally have on my altar because I'm going to make more videos about it and with it, it literally is a piece of plastic that oxidizes. The copper is like wrapped around it and stuff, but the microplastics going in the womb is awful too. Like, there's no way to have birth control. So I really encourage like any women that are listening to this to really learn their cycle and learn like, you can get these rings nowadays that will track your cycle, or I'm currently finishing up a womb journal that like I wish I had along my journey, and I'm so excited for it to be finished so that I can have it and so that I can share it, because it's been like a huge channeled thing that has come through me. And I have a tracking part of it where women can track their cycles with it. And when you're in tune with your cycles, you're in tune with what your body needs. You're in tune with what your womb needs. When you're not in tune with your cycles and you have no idea what part of your phase you're in, you could be all over the place and you really don't know like how to organize your life according to your cycle. Your life will be so much better if you are more in tune with your cycle, because then you'll be able to know what is best for you to focus on during that part of your cycle, what your body is needing nourishment wise in that part of your cycle. So I really encourage people to learn their cycles and track that, so that, which I don't recommend the apps. Like, I really don't recommend that. Like, I recommend getting the ring that will like track it, or I recommend like just journaling it and writing it down, because I feel like the app just does it all for you, and it's not like, I don't think that actually builds a connection. I've always stayed away from that, and I'm grateful I've stayed away from it, because I have such a strong connection, because I've written it down. I take notes, you know, and I don't choose to have the easy route, because I be able to listen to my body and hear what's going on, you know. So I encourage that. And I actually am going to drop these womb kits soon that are going to be limited edition, and I'm really excited because it's going to be like yoni steam. It's going to have the womb journal and a yoni egg, as well as some other things to detox the womb space and connect you with the womb space. And there'll only be like a handful available, and it will be when I drop the womb journal. It's going to be like a special thing for when I drop the womb journal, which I'm really excited about. So yeah, I just wanted to say that.
When can we expect them? You have like I need it.
Yeah, I would say in the next month.
Okay.
Yeah, they'll be ready soon. I am finishing up the womb journal, and it's literally so deep. Like, this womb journal will take you on a journey. It's for women that are really ready to liberate that space. And yeah, and it's alchemizing pain into power. And yeah, I'm really hyped for it. So I can't wait. I can't wait. I've been waiting for it. And also, a lot of the tools and things that will be in the womb kit are ancient womb traditions that have been lost. When you Google it on Google, God, Google cannot be trusted, I swear. You look at these ancient practices on Google, and it will tell you that you should be scared of it. These are the harmful things that can happen with it, when like, these are ancient traditions. Like, these will not cause harm. The only thing that will cause harm is if you're not listening.
Yeah.
Or you're not like paying attention to what your body is asking for. I don't feel that any of these practices could cause harm in any way. They've only expanded like that connection for me in such profound ways. So yeah, so now we're gonna transition into self-worth, you said?
Yeah.
Amazing.
Yeah, because I feel like that's something that a lot of women struggle with, is a lack of self-worth. And I feel like embracing the goddess within, you need to know that you are worthy of being a goddess, of embracing the goddess within, self-love, all of that, you know? So it's a lot, the journey of self-worth.
I feel that the reason why self-worth issues like low self-esteem and like lack of confidence or like a lot of self-doubt or even just like kind of wanting to hide because of low self-esteem and low self-worth is because of trauma. Being mistreated and not being treated as they deserve to be treated, and that can sometimes really discourage women to be their most authentic and to be their most highest version of themselves, like in their goddess energy, in their divine feminine essence. I feel that's like scary for a lot of women, because that energy does attract, like when we're in our power, it does attract all sorts of different kinds of people, because people are so curious about that, because it's not super common now. So being a woman in her power does attract and magnetize all sorts of different kinds of energy, but it also does repel it as well. It also know that they can't get anywhere near that, nor like they're in such far resonance from that they cannot try to penetrate or dismantle any of that. So it's like a journey of self-forgiveness, I feel, and being able to see yourself and others and see that people are doing the best that they can with what they know and with how they were treated, how they were raised, and like our parents do the best that they can with how they were treated and all of these things, and forgiving people for not knowing better, and also forgiving yourself for not knowing better, because I also feel like women are so hard on themselves and they beat themselves up over things that weren't that deep, and maybe it did feel that deep to them, but it's like it's not something that we need to keep cycling in and keep like having damaging thoughts about ourselves that aren't necessarily true, because we create those stories about ourselves that we don't deserve love, or that we don't. And the thing is with that, like, I have been very mistreated in my life. I've attracted people that didn't know how to love, and I was so loved by my family growing up, and I'm such a being of unconditional love, so I radiate, and I believe everyone deserves unconditional love, even the people that are doing harm and things. I believe that everybody is worthy of true unconditional love. And the thing is, though, people are so far from that in themselves, so that when they're getting a relationship, it's not fully unconditionally loving, and so then people's image of love gets tainted and compromised when they think that abuse is love, or they keep going back to an abuser when that abuser doesn't know how to love. They have forgotten how to love, and they're unable to love them the way they deserve to be, because they don't love themselves. And that's where it's all rooted. So I feel like women get damaged over time, and they're like, they don't feel worthy of love, and then once real love comes, it's hard to receive.
Yeah.
Once the unconditional love is there and like the embodiment is manifested, then it's like, wait, is this real?
Yeah.
Wait, like how? Wait, like it's kind of like a mind. It's a kind of almost like a mind game, because this happened to me like recently, where I was I've only really been in abusive relationships except for my first relationship. My first relationship was so pure, it was so innocent, and then every other relationship was like I was treated so badly, and I kept like trying to save these people that were just so lost, and I could not save them like at all. That was not my job, and I had to step away and like stop trying to save people and stop trying to help them like come back to themselves and come back to their and I feel like a lot of women are also stuck in that loop as well, and that like damages them. Like we create more damage through like trying to, you know, force things. By forcing things is just hurting ourselves, you know. And I also feel that when it comes to that topic, when the real love comes, it's like so far from what most people have experienced, and some women don't ever even experience what unconditional love truly is. Not just women, but like everyone, like any person. Some people are so far from that in themselves that they don't ever magnetize and resonate with it enough to be able to experience it and receive it fully. Because I remember when it came into my life this year, actually at the beginning of this year, a priestess, a goddess that just fully saw me and fully just embraced me and loved me in every possible way. I met her like a year ago, and she just had this embodiment of love that I have never experienced before. And I was like, oh my God, like it was hard for me to receive it. And it was hard for me to believe that it was like real, because I was like, wow, I've never met anybody that has embodied this like I have. So I'm like, this, it felt like a mirror of me.
Yeah.
But it was like hard for me to fully believe and receive it, because I was like, dang. And that was where I was noticing, I was like, wow, I don't feel worthy of this love, because I've been so mistreated that I haven't been anywhere near this kind of love, like the real love.
Yeah.
Like not the kind of manipulative, like kind of what is it, like compromised version of what most people think love is.
Yeah.
So it's like that's I feel like a lot of what most people are stuck in.
Yeah, absolutely. And you need to, this is just my own personal belief that self-love is the first love. Because if you don't know your own worth, if your cup is half empty, drying, and it's not full, you will never be able to see the mirror of, this is what I deserve, this is what I need. And a lot of women feel like they shouldn't deserve things, you know. And I truly recommend that those who are here to break that cycle within themselves or within the generational cycles is to practice celibacy first. Because that's something that I did. I was celibate for a year, and I just dedicated all of my time to a relationship with myself, blossoming into myself, taking myself out, writing myself love letters, putting it under my pillow, and just really filling my own cup. And I kind of forgot that I was searching for love. And then I met my husband in a parking lot in Sedona, and I've been with him every day since. And I thought I knew love before him. No, I never knew what love was, how to receive love. And he is like the true masculine. You know, he provides for us. And I think that's something that I think that if I didn't, like, I believe in the invisible string theory, like, him and I were supposed to meet, because, like, him, me, my son, like, the three of us, eternal. But I feel like if I didn't give myself that time to honor celibacy, which is something I had never done, I was such, like, a lover and just so, like, just an etheric little nymph, just, I don't know. And then I really took the time to myself, and then I met him, and I really believe that if women just, and men, everyone, they, them, women, men, whoever you are, fill your own cup first. Because first love is, or self-love is the first love. And I can forget that sometimes in motherhood because I true unconditional love to my son, like beyond, like a mother's love is indescribable. And sometimes I pour my energy too much and I feel depleted, but I will never act on it because I love motherhood, you know, and nothing to complain about. And people shame me for that. And I think that's something we also have to heal within the mother goddess is, but that's probably a different conversation of sacred motherhood, but just really practicing self love. Write your self love letters. Whatever you feel is missing, that you're craving, give that to yourself. You know, if you want adventures, love, like fucking go across the country by yourself or like, I don't know, swing really high on a swing. You know, it can be lower or higher. As long as it makes you feel something, you know, and just give that to yourself. Work with the goddesses also because I believe there is like the great goddess and then she birthed all these different goddesses that have these conscious codes within them. And, you know, draw a bath, put flower petals in it, incense, salt, you know, make it sensual in the true sensual way, you know, like take the time to feel the waters and breathe in and call in whoever, but call in like the goddess of love, whether it be Aphrodite or Anya or Inanna or whoever in your soul lineage or your blood lineage. That's something that I used to do that I probably should still do in regards to like nurturing my own energy, but that's something I highly recommend. And who knows, maybe you'll meet your soulmate or your one true love. We have many soulmates, but like your one true love.
Yeah, and speaking on that note, something I love to say because I meet so many people that are so like lost in seeking and searching for the one. When the one isn't out in there, it's in here.
Yes, you are your own twin flame. Like I fully believe.
Yeah. Dude, don't even get me started on the twin flame. The twin
Yeah,
flame stuff. Oh my god, that is like a whole nother realm of things that is like so twisted. Things have been so twisted about that topic.
yeah.
Spiritual communities, but yeah, it's like people be searching for that, but and then they wonder why they're not finding it. Is because they're the ones that they've been searching for the whole time through other people. Because we've been sold the illusion of separation so much in our lives that we are so convinced that another individual is outside of us when we are so like, oh my God, if people could see the truth, the truth of us being so intertwined and interconnected that we are literally mirrors of each other,
Yeah.
that we are literally connected before we even meet, and with every single person on the planet, when we can feel that, that's when everything shifts. It's like, wow, the illusion of separation is not, and everyone is us and everyone is mirroring us and mirroring, the maybe even past versions of us, or like, helping, because I've had people come into my lives to remind me of like, oh my god, like, yeah, I need to give the past version of me like more love, because I meet people that had like similar patterns as like the old me, and I'm like, wow, like, yeah, and then there'll be people that like mirror me now, where it's like, oh my God, like I can't believe I am talking to somebody that is in such deep resonance with me, and I'm such in such deep resonance with them that we're able to connect on this very deep wavelength of all sorts of different topics. Uh, but what I feel like what you're talking about too is like kind of like that ritual of self-care, that ritual, which like people sometimes associate ritual with witchcraft, but ritual is just routine. Ritual is like a part of devotion. Like, in my opinion, from my experience, having a ritual is devoting your life to a routine or a specific practice And it's super important to have those things in our life. And I have many different rituals in my life and a part of my daily practice. And one of the things that I really love whenever I get my moon is the fact that I have these period underwear that like I can hand wash, and then I don't have to, I get to put it on the earth and do some prayers for the mother. And that is like a ritual that has been super exciting every time I every time of the month. I'm like, I'm so excited for that ritual because the underwear kind of puts you in a position where it's like you got to do something with it, you know? So it's like you don't just get to like toss it in the trash, easy peasy lemon squeezy. Like you got to like hand wash it and like give it to the earth, or just hand wash it and get it done. um but
Yeah, and I love how you chose to shift your perspective. Like, I get to. And I think that's something also that listeners, beautiful beings, can pick up on, for shifting your perspective. I get to. Because that's something that's so powerful.
The reason why I say that now is because it's such a privilege to be here. It's such a privilege to be in a human body. And so many people have taken it for granted, or are taking it for granted, and are ungrateful and are complaining and angry and not happy to be here. They dread being here. They dread being in this body, and they feel like they have to do all these things, for the basic needs to be met, for, shelter and food and water. But it's like we get to do all these things. We get to create things with our hands, and put go inside of water and like go underwater and see all these other animals that exist in a completely another dimension. Like it's like we get to experience so many magical things here that people completely take it for granted because they see it as like, oh, I have to do this, like I forgot that I chose to be here.
Yeah.
What they're really saying. It's the amnesia that most people are still under, and they've forgotten that like they don't have to do anything. Like the people, this is a really funny perspective, but like the people that are on the streets are the ones that have like completely dissolved their ego. Where
Yeah.
like they don't have to do anything. They're literally living on the land and like doing what they have to do, but they're not choosing to like do all these things that most people are feel like they have to do, or like they have to succeed, or they have to reach this status in the matrix to be successful and like to live a good life and like a happy life. But the truth is, like, when we are able to shift our perspective, when we choose to shift our perspective to, I don't have or need to do anything. It's a privilege to be able to do the things that I get to do here. To be able to even just be in this body, period, is a privilege.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's like a big one. And I feel that a lot of people sometimes get really triggered on the fact, like when I say, like, what if we all chose to be here? That's really triggering for people because people are like, how dare you say that? How dare you say, I chose to be here? Like, my parents weren't even trying to have a kid, and like say all these other excuses and things, when it's like, boy, if they remembered before they chose to be in this body, they wouldn't be saying that. Because I literally remember choosing my mom. I remember coming here and wanting to be here, and I negotiated to I had to do some things in order for me to get here. And there's a whole bunch of souls that want to come here that are waiting. They're
Yeah.
waiting. And each person that has manifested in a female body has souls that want to come through them. Each woman has souls that want to come through them, and whether it's 1, 2, 5, like every woman has a number of souls, and usually those souls are connected to some lineage, whether it's a recent lineage or an ancient lineage. Like it's connected to a lineage that wants some healing and wants some things to be addressed, things to be fully. And
Honestly, yeah.
uh, yeah, that one's a really interesting. interesting thing as well because
Yes.
yeah.
I have a lot to, I feel like we could do a whole episode on that. It's really fascinating and it's, yeah, we chose to be here. And it's an honor and it's people, especially in, I've noticed like the spectrums of those who are like completely disconnected from source, like, and then those who you were kind of talking about, and then those who are very like kind of spiritual bypass reality that are just here to enlighten, 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 and forget that we are human to ground and to just ground our spirituality and connect with everything, every emotion, every wave, because I I don't know what it's like on other planets. My soul does, you know? I have some distant memories, but we get to have emotions. We get to feel, we get to love, we get to be. And like I remember being in massage school and we had this writing prompt and it was just like I'm forgetting the name of it. It's just like script writing. And the word was hands. And it made me realize like how blessed we are to even have these hands to do things. Because imagine if we didn't have hands, and so much blessings to those who don't have hands or can't operate them. Like, what a blessing, you know, to be able to walk, to be able to move, to be able to look at the clouds and listen to the birds, just those simple little things that people take for granted every single day. So shifting one's perspective like Starlight does is so profound. And, you know, like even if you are somebody who's dealing with, again, circling back to the periods, with cramps, like, yeah, your body is signaling that something is off, something is wrong within your body. But how beautiful that you're able to feel that and to know that and to have that connection with your womb space. And that's one of the steps, you know? So
um,
I love what you were saying. Resonates a lot.
Yeah, yeah, and I feel that women, well, and even most shamanic and ancient societies, you go and you talk to the elders, and like if someone's depressed or someone's struggling with things in the mind, they'll ask, what do I do? You know, I need help. Like something's wrong with me. You know, I have this and this and this going on, and they're all symptoms of us forgetting the truth and also us getting so caught up with our thoughts and of our mind. And they'll say, when did you stop singing and dancing?
Mm.
And it's because when we sing and when we dance, we're connecting with the Most High in those moments. When we're dancing, we're channeling, we're moving energy, we're shaking off what doesn't serve. It's like it's keeping the energy fluid in our bodies so that things don't stay stagnant. That's why twerking is so important too for women, moving the hips. If you can't move your hips and you can't throw it back, that means you got some really stuck energy that wants to be moved. And
Yeah.
it might be painful and like it might be uncomfortable, but it's like it's so important to tap into that and to like play that like kind of fun music that is like I listen to really conscious like twerking or like yeah, like I have this one friend that makes really conscious like twerking music, but there's so much on Spotify. You can find sacred sensual playlists and just dance, even if it's for 5 to 10 minutes a day, like first thing when you wake up. That's a great way to start your day, and it will help purge trauma out of the body, out of the womb, and also out of your head. It will get you out of your mind, out
Yeah.
of the things that are like spiraling in your head, the thoughts, the beliefs, the stories that you have about yourself and your life that you've been conditioned and programmed to be so convinced about. It helps you be present and fully present, which I believe when we are fully present, that is when we get to experience the highest form of God,
Yeah.
is in those moments. And singing can do the same thing. Like if you love to sing or you want to open up that space more, singing and just letting yourself sing whatever you want to sing about. Like there doesn't need to be any thought, just pureness of just allowing yourself to say whatever you want to say, and whatever comes out, and just singing. Or if there's a favorite song that you have, or something that you'd love to sing, or something that you've written, like sing it, and like sing it with your everything, and make time for that, like every day. Like I'm singing and dancing every day. You won't catch me a day not singing and dancing. And when I don't sing and dance, that's when energy gets stuck. That's when I get in my head more, and I'm like, I've been singing and dancing enough. So it's like that
Yeah,
daily ritual, even for a short period, I feel is super transformative for
it really
every
does.
person, but especially women, especially for the goddess, like to awaken and remember, and to really be embodied in the heart space and the womb space. Because my mom always told me growing up, the womb is the second heart.
Mm,
So if we're not taking care of both of our hearts, we're not going to be happy and healthy.
yeah.
So we have to treat both of those containers as your second heart. And she also told me that because she was like, don't give your second heart to everyone.
Mhm.
You don't give that to everyone. Like you keep that sacred. You keep that self. And yeah, and like not giving that space and that part of you to people that don't deserve it and like earn it.
Yeah,
People
absolutely.
people should earn that part of you,
Yeah,
not where you're just giving it to, people you don't even really know, because you're
yeah.
giving away your power. And I want to say this too, because this is, oh my God, so I talk a lot about this with people. When you give that energy away to somebody, people don't understand the depth of what happens when you intertwine on that level. Your souls are becoming completely one, and you are in the state of full oneness where you guys are soul intertwined, and there are chords that are created in the mind. So there's a chord all the way like from mind to mind, from heart to heart, and from sacral to sacral.
Mhm.
So there's like multiple chords that are attached to it. It's not just one soul tie. It's not just like one chord that's here. It's many. And if you don't cut those cords, many people will have access to your mind, will have access to your heart, and that can cause so much emotional turmoil, because the things that were, kind of stirred up in that person, like the traumas that they didn't face or feel fully, the beliefs or the feelings of unworthiness that they have in themselves, or even self-hatred or anger, women will literally take those things on and will have to alchemize and feel it. And it can adversely affect them and confuse them with their own stuff that they're feeling inside. And they won't like be able to really understand, like, is this mine, or like, where's this coming from? But it's because someone has access to their most powerful parts of themselves.
Yeah,
And I feel that like with hookup culture, it's really like that is like one of the worst things that people have gotten sucked into, is hooking up with people and strangers that they don't know, um, just for, instant gratification and like pleasure. It's not worth it.
it's really not.
Like learn how to please yourself, learn how to meet your own needs, and learn what you like, and learn what, learn your body, so that you don't feel like you have to have someone else take care of those things for you, and where you're giving yourself away to people that do not deserve it. And then all these cords are created, and then there's so much emotional turmoil and the kind of like unstable energy, because it's like all over the place.
It's like little succubuses of your power and your energy. And it's empowering. Like, it's really empowering to be like, you are not worthy of my energy. Like, it's very empowering. In friendships, in relationships, in romance, in family, like cutting off anyone that is not in alignment with your worth, who wants to see you grow, who sees you as a human, as a soul who is growing and evolving and is like cheering you on. And that's, I think, one of the hardest things for people when they start entering into their spiritual journey or their journey of self worth, is releasing those individuals that are not in alignment, that are not worthy. And so you can shift your perspective to be like, I can keep them in, it's going to drain my power, or I can reclaim my power and realize they're not worthy, which is so empowering. And it's not to be confused with the ego, because it's just, it's your worth, it's your birthright, you know? And we all have soul family, and we all have these karmic relations. And the more that you trust in your intuition, and the more that you pick up on those codes and those moments, and it can be hard. Like, I am a recovering people pleaser, you know, and I see the good, I see the beauty within everyone and everything. And that's like, I used to view it as a curse. It's a blessing and a curse, you know. I'm sure you resonate after speaking with you. It's hard, it's difficult, but you gotta do it, because action. You need action in order to manifest the existence that you deserve, you know? So, and
Yeah.
it doesn't always have to be dramatic either. Just stop putting your energy into people and just let the goddess, let the universe do its thing.
For real, yeah, I definitely agree with you on like the hardest part is letting go of the parasitic energies.
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
really hard.
yeah, that's been the hardest part in my journey. Because they like the ones that I've attracted keep trying to crawl back after I'm like like what? Like I thought this was over. Like that I made it very clear.
Yeah.
And they do not respect boundaries at all, or they don't respect just like who I am, and they try to crawl back, and they do it in these very key ways, and it's not cool. But it's once you really decide that you won't tolerate certain energy anymore, and you won't allow yourself to be sucked on by people, and like people allow people to mistreat you, because I feel like a lot of the time in abusive relationships people play victim when it's like they're allowing themselves to be abused. I had to realize this, and that was like one of the hardest pills for me to swallow. Was like I was victimizing myself, and then I was like, wait a second, this is this is on me. I cannot be blaming and pointing the finger at them, because there's three pointing back at me. And like I'm the one that allowed them to get this close to me, and forgave them, and allowed them to do it again. And it's like loving people from a distance. Once people show you where they're at, because sometimes everybody is trying to figure it all out. So it's like some people you just gotta let them go, love them for where they're at, because where they're at does not define who they are.
People can change. I fully believe in that. Because I mean,
Yeah,
you're born as a baby as this pure, magical, innocent, connected to source, and then through life's conditions, nature versus nurture, both of it, you change. And people can become dark and twisted and manipulative. So of course they have the ability to change back into the light and the beauty, because that's how they were born, you know?
yeah, we all can
I
remember.
remind myself of often, you know?
Yeah. Yeah, it doesn't we don't have to forget our whole lives. We can always return back to the truth and back to our purity. It's our choice though. We get free will to choose that for ourselves. We're ready for that in this lifetime. We all,
Yeah.
we all get to choose, and some people aren't ready. And we just have to be like, okay, I hear you, you're not ready. So I'm gonna go in this lane. I'm gonna go over here.
Yes. Let
And you
yourself.
from over there, and stay away. Stay in your lane.
Yes. Very
Yeah.
fun. Yeah. Um, I feel like, coming to a close of this, mostly because I got mama duties. um, but
Yeah.
I would love any last insight on whatever your heart feels called to do, because this conversation has led to many different pathways. But that's the thing, the goddess has many different pathways. She is within everything and anything that exists. And then also at the end, I don't want to forget, it's not that I would, how people can connect with you, you know?
Oh my gosh, yes. Well, I would say lastly, the thing that's coming to heart is it's so important for women to connect with other women.
Yes.
We need more sisterhood on this planet. We need more women supporting women. We need more women celebrating women. We need more worship ceremonies happening where other women are worshiping the goddess within each other, and it's where we are seeing ourselves through the reflection of each other, not where one is on a pedestal and then the other is jealous and the other is envious because they wish that they were as whatever. And it's like that's like we got enough of that going on in the world. We need more women rooting for each other and really seeing the goddess inside each other and wanting to serve the goddess. Like when I am serving the goddess and when I have divine feminine embodiments around, like whew, I feel so honored. I feel so blessed. I feel so amazing to have those reflections in my life. And yeah, so I recommend finding a women's circle, learning from other women, being open to receiving other women and like for where they're at. And it might be a trial and error where you attract some women that aren't fully in their heart yet and have kind of forgotten who they are. But once you work on that part of yourself and work on that self-worth and really just stay true to who you are, stay true to your heart, and embody as much unconditional love as you can, you will attract really powerful goddess embodiments. And those people are so sacred to have in life. They're like, oh my God, they've been a huge part of my journey. So I recommend being a part of a women's circle or a women's community, or, having some really solid sisters that you can count on and that you can share anything with, and they'll be able to handle it. They'll be able to hold space for it, and they'll be able to embrace you in your fullest and not judge you, not compare, not envy in any shape or form. Like that doesn't exist in the true embodied goddess. And it's just so much pure unconditional love. And yeah, that's what I'd recommend for women because I feel that that's lacking a lot in most women's lives. And when it comes to like connecting with me and stuff, I host goddess retreats. I'm sure you've seen them. I love hosting women's circles and women's containers that are all women. And sometimes I have a divine masculine in my containers to show women what a divine masculine feels like and what a safe man feels like a man that is only there to serve the women and like that's it.
Yeah.
That's what I love doing, and women healing together is so potent. So creating these circles and containers, I've been expanding to other parts of the world where I'll be hosting these retreats. And I'm really excited because in 2026 I'll have one in Greece, and
Uh,
I'm really excited for that. And I believe that that will probably be my only goddess retreat next year, which I'm a little sad about because I want to squeeze one more goddess one in if I can, because these circles have changed my life and have changed just everything in my life. I love hosting these, and a lot of the women that come to these have been to multiple of my retreats, and they just want to be in those spaces of like
yeah.
of women that want to heal, women that are ready to heal. And it's just so potent. We do so much somatic healing with the body and movement, as well as vocal, singing, activating that space, and as well as different practices with the womb and meditation and dancing and like sacred twerking circles. Like,
Yeah.
yeah, we do it all at those retreats, and sometimes there's sacred medicines involved and other plants that we're working with that are ancient allies, and sometimes there's not as well where we're not there's no ancient allies involved, but they really do assist. Like They really do assist in people opening up and really like expanding. So, yeah, and I'm Sassy's on all platforms. I am a musician. I'm dropping a lot of music for the rest of the year, and I'm really excited. There's actually this song that I have called High Priestess that I want to drop on the High Priestess Day, which is February, which is going to be 2026. But I have a lot of really amazing songs that will be amazing for women, but also just everyone. If you want to manifest your dream reality, you want to step into your highest self, the songs that I make have prayers, mantras, affirmations, and subconscious reprogramming to help us step into that and
Yeah.
effortlessly, because it's all energy, frequency, vibration. So the more we can shift our energy into deeper alignment, the more life and our reality will transform. And what else? I have a lot of different offerings. I'm not sure if you've seen my jewelry, but I make.
I haven't. I only just recently discovered you. And it
Oh
was through
yeah.
your IUD removal video. And I've never had an IUD, but I was like, I don't know, I just felt that
Oh
connection.
my
I was
gosh.
like, oh, and then I set out the intention to have people on my podcast right before I fell asleep. And I think I had started following you that day because then you showed yourself in the dream, and I was like, all right, I don't know your name, but you're gonna be on my podcast, and then here we are.
Oh my gosh, that's amazing. I love that. Yeah.
Yeah, but tell us about your jewelry.
Yeah, so I've been loving these goddess sets I've been making. I work a lot with crystals, which I source very intentionally because there's a lot of crystals that are, not sourced well nowadays. So I try to get the best sources, and everything that I do is very intentional. So every piece that I make is made and embedded with specific intentions, and there's sometimes certain messages that come through with like the person that's going to receive this. I'm like, wow, like this is like going to be really profound in their career, in their like finances, or in their relationship with themselves, and the way that they view themselves. Like it's very interesting. Whenever I'm making a piece, I can tap into whose it is,
Yeah.
like who's it for, and it's like it's amazing. And sometimes it's hard for me to let go of the pieces because I'm like, oh my god, I want all of them, I love all of them.
Right? I
Like
feel
they're
that.
all amazing.
Yeah.
And it's like for me it's like a crown on the neck, the way that I make them. It's like, and I was never taught how to make jewelry. I taught myself when I was 8 years old, so I've been making jewelry like my whole life, and I made this like style that's like, oh my god, so beautiful. And it takes me a long time to make them, like many hours, like sometimes up to like 4 to 5 hours, for one necklace. Um, and yeah, it's so beautiful though, the way that it like drips like on the neck, and it's like I like to have it like right on the heart, like the like longest piece, like right over the heart or like right above the heart, and like that center point to help people like tap deeper into that. And sometimes I make matching earrings, and there's sacred geometry involved, there's sacred symbols involved. Like I literally have these little goddess charms, like the goddess, like the like OG goddess.
Yes, a little like
Yeah. Yes, yeah, like that. I've been surrounded by that symbol my whole life, so I have a bunch of different goddess like symbols, that I've been excited to work with, and I have all sorts of different kinds of crystals. So I make some custom pieces. Like people have been reaching out ever since I started making them. I've been asking for specific like custom ones, so they'll tell me like
yeah,
their intention, and then I'll make them a piece. And yeah, I really been loving that, but I'll sometimes just post them on my story, and whoever gets it first, like whoever sees it and slides up first, is who
what
gets
it's
it.
meant to be for. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, and it's really fun. I really enjoy making those. And then the womb kits, I'm really excited about those dropping.
Yeah.
Yeah, there'll only be limited amount of those, and I'm really, really excited about that. And I also make biodegradable glitters. I'm working on a non-toxic makeup line, which has been like, it's really been in the making, but it's something I'm really looking forward to because I want to help women enhance their natural beauty. And that's like all what I'm about, is like not like caking and like, you know, doing the face in such a way where it like transforms, which, you know, that there's, you know, there's beauty in like putting on so much makeup and having it like as like a way of expression and a way of dolling up the character. But it's also really beautiful to embody your natural beauty and to just enhance your natural beauty, and fall in love with the way that you look without anything, and just like naturally enhancing it with natural products that won't cause any harm to your face or any harm into your body, because everything we put on our face is absorbed into our body. And yeah, so I'm really excited about that. My lash serum I'm really well known for, which is the first like big product I made that changed my life and changed a lot of other women's lives. My lash serum is the best lash serum ever. I've tried
So
many
I'm
serums.
interested in that.
Yeah, and it's super affordable. The price I plan on raising this year, because so many people tell me I charge way too cheap for
Yeah,
it, but I love having affordable products.
yeah.
I love that.
It's funny.
I don't want my products to be out of reach for people. Uh,
Yeah.
yeah, and I also do giveaways as well. So if you want to come to a retreat and you can't afford it, I love doing giveaways so that people have an opportunity to have this life transforming experience. And yeah, and people from all around the world apply to my retreats, apply to the giveaways, and it's so amazing. I love doing giveaways, and I'm actually planning a giveaway right now of like a combination of some things. So yeah, if anybody listening wants to tune into a giveaway with some free products, free oils, free, you know, jewelry, free, I'm creating a little free giveaway package thing that I'm making for all the people that want to support what I'm creating, and also just want to win some free things. Because I know that, you know, the way that we live nowadays, sometimes some things can really feel out of reach, but there are so many opportunities. Like there are no limitations, and there's so much abundance all around us when we're able to receive and remember that. So I like to be that reflection for people. So if you want free things, you want free opportunities and free resources, I would love to provide those things. And I think lastly, I will just say I also just dropped my podcast yesterday.
Oh.
Yeah, and I am explaining my story about my soul coming to Earth and then my human experience so far. And my human experience is quite different than most people, but it's interesting. You know, people want to learn about why I am the way I am, and what has made me the way I am. So people that want to know the stories, the first part one is there, and there's going to be a part two and a part three. It's a 3-part series, and then I also just dropped a mentorship program. So if people want to work with me one on one, which people have been asking for years, but I didn't feel fully ready to do that years ago. I was still doing a lot of work on myself, and people kept asking for like one on one work, and I was like, no, not yet. So now I'm finally ready for it. And so, yeah, I dropped that. I'm not necessarily like cheap to work with, because I know what I'm capable of, and I know that I could transform someone's life and help them remember who they are, what they came here for, their gifts. That's what I specialize in. I see people's gifts, I see people's strengths and like purpose. So, and I also see their weaknesses. So, being able to create more alignment and help people remove the things subconsciously that are holding them back, remove the beliefs and the things, and reprogram them with shifted shifted I don't really know how to explain that, but you get what I mean.
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. Pick your programs, they say.
Yeah, yeah, reprogramming the programs and shifting into deeper alignment with soul purpose, soul gifts. That's what I am going to help people do. And I've also created part of the like I have one-on-one as an option, but the one thing I'm really excited about is the group community I'm building right now. Is so yeah, the group community where I'm gonna do weekly calls And I might even do it every other week, but I really want to do it every week so that people have a space with like-minded souls that they can connect with, that is affordable. It's going to be it's actually early bird price right now. It's $55 a month to be a part of that, which I feel like is such a good deal. I'm gonna have so many special guests, like teachers, indigenous teachers, galactic, celestial, powerful, ancient souls that I am really connected to. I want to have as special guests and share their codes and their magic. And I'm really excited for this. I call it the constellation. The constellation. I'm super excited for it to be fully birthed because people are like applying for it right now, and I'm so excited to start it.
That's beautiful.
It will be a space of like discussion and space of like learning, like all together, where we're all learning. Like there's no hierarchy, where I don't want to be put on a pedestal at all. I want to be in community with everybody and have a space where everyone else can also share their perspectives, or what's alive for them and what's coming up for them on certain topics and things. Yeah, so yeah, that's all I have to say.
Woman walking her dharma. They love that. And
Yeah.
I, yeah, I appreciate you for being here. And oh, my son is here. And just for being you.
Thank you. Yeah, likewise. Yeah.